The first recipe I'm going to do today is a plum and frangipane tart. Now, it's a very useful sweet because it follows the seasons around, and you can use cherries in there, you can use apricots, you can use plums, and in the winter you can use apples or pears. The first thing to do though is to line your tartlet case. Now, I know a lot of people have problems lining pastry cases. For me, pastry is just something that holds a filling in. It's not a statement on its own. So consequently, you keep it as thin as possible. So from that point of view, avoid starting off with a huge great lump of pastry because that just encourages you to leave it nice and thick. Mold the pastry so it doesn't stick and you've got a nice circle to start off with. Then, keeping the flour to a minimum, you roll it out. Have a nice wooden rolling pin. I avoid pins with handles because they encourage you to press on the handles and you end up with a bit in the middle of the pastry that's stuck to the table and the edges are still quite thick. So this actually encourages you to roll in a more disciplined way. Another thing to remember is constantly pick the pastry up. Don't just roll and roll till you have to scrape it off the table. So just keep picking it up and making sure that it's not getting too thin or too thick. Again, you can see I'm just sprinkling a light dusting of flour here, not masses. Place it over your case and tuck it in. Show it lots and lots and lots of love and it will reward you at the end. Just go around, trim off the excess. Then we bake it blind with the cartouche and some bacon beans. I've just used a mixture of old rice and a few sort of beans that I've had for about 5 years actually, you can see. But the beauty of this is it fits snugly into here. So this now is going to go off to the oven, and while that's baking, we'll make the filling. For the tart, we've got some nice Victoria plums. Choose plums of a similar size so that they fit nice and neatly around the top. We've got some ground almonds here. We've got some unsalted butter. Soften, not melt the butter, because the whole thing happens a lot more quickly. Caster sugar, and finally 2 fresh eggs. So we'll get this mixed up and going around right now. So first of all, we're going to cream up the butter and the sugar. Now, you need to mix that up until it's nice, light and fluffy. People tend to rush things and try and add the eggs before it reaches that nice white stage, and then they say, oh, it didn't take all the eggs, but you need to leave it till it's thoroughly mixed up. Okay, let's whisk up these eggs. Okay, we're going to start drizzling that in. See, the thing with this is not rushing the egg, because if you rush the egg, it struggles to incorporate it. But if you do it in a trickle, then it all just goes in easily. Right, now it's all mixed in. We add the almonds and the flour. And while that's also happening, take the stones out of the plums. Okay, now we're going to take the beans out of the case. You see there's a little edge of silicone, so it's quite easy to then just pick it up and lift it out. We put the Frangipane filling in the tart. That's enough. Just spread it out. And then we put the plums around. And then a little circle and slightly smaller ones. Right, we're off to the oven now with this. I'm going to bake it at 175 degrees for about 20 minutes and it should be cooked by then. So we got the tart out of the oven. You can see it's got a nice golden look to it. Try not to over bake it because we're actually going to glaze the top slightly to give it that professional look. And to do that, we just need to use the blowtorch. Right, we just gently glaze that top. See how quickly that happens? You don't want to burn it. Just give it that nice caramel look. Job done. It keeps a couple of days in the larder quite well, and you can serve it with ice cream, cream, or just on its own, which is how me and the kids like it.